go.
And actually get started here.
Yeah, absolutely. We label the top of our practice plans with the number of workouts we've had. So since the summer, we're around 50 right now. So I think, the girls are probably ready to scrimmage. We've got scrimmages coming up this weekend and next. The coaches always want more practice, but I'm really happy with our progress so far.
So coaches want more practice, but Grace, Kayla, for you guys, are you ready to see another opponent and ready to get started? Kayla, we'll start with you.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've been putting in a lot of work since June, and it's time to beat up on somebody else rather than ourselves. So, yeah.
And Grace, same for you. And this is a new year, new team for you. So just what about you expecting for this season, and then also just joining the team?
Yes, sir. Like Ruth said, it's been a long time coming. Workouts in the summer, just leading up to this point. So we're ready to take our practice competition and work together to beat somebody else.
And for you, Erica, early on with this team, but building it up throughout last year and now coming into this year, what are you expecting from this group, and how does it differ from last year's team?
Yeah, well, I think last year the expectations were not as high, and this year the standards have been raised in every area. So we're ready to rise to the occasion with that. Really, last year was so foundational for us, and so I really appreciated the team that I inherited and the couple kids that I brought in, because I thought they bought into what we were selling and bought into the vision, and we were able to just kind of get things in order the way that we wanted to. And by the end of the season, we were taking good shots. We were just being a little more efficient on offense, and we'll see a big jump forward in that with this roster. Recruiting was a huge emphasis for our staff last year, and so we've signed 9 new players. We have 6 returners, and they've really come together nicely. On the court, off the court, the dynamic's been really positive. And so for this year, I think that you can expect to see just a faster pace. Both ends of the floor will be more aggressive. We have more depth, more size, more athleticism, more scoring ability. And so I feel like we've improved in every position, and not just because of the new players, but because our returners have gotten better as well.
And Grace, that's something you can speak to. A lot of new players coming in to this team. It's always interesting is how's that going to work? How's that going to mesh with 6 players and then 9 new players and them coming together? So just talk about that and how this team has come together and the chemistry coming into the season.
We put a lot of time in to the gym, but also off the court. Spending time together is really important, vital for a team to build culture. So I think that's where you start every year is what is our culture, what are we going to be about, and then everything on and off the court can kind of roll from there. So spending time together and getting extra shots up together is always beneficial for building team chemistry.
And Kayla, what about for you as a player, on this team, led in scoring, bringing in new players and watching that come together and seeing new players on the court with you?
I think it's definitely been a positive step forward in the right direction. We've practiced a lot. I've practiced and been on teams with multiple different people, and we just really mesh well. It's starting to all come together, and I think we'll see that this season.
And Erica, second season, correct?
Yes.
In the ASUN. Familiarity does help coaches just in conference play because you're playing teams Well, now it's your second year. You have a lot more familiarity. Is that something that is nice when you're going in week to week prepping for these teams?
Yeah, absolutely. I think just having specific teams and systems and players and coaches in mind when you're trying to counter things on the floor and just think about X's and O's and how we want to dial up our system, it's helpful to have that familiarity. But there's a lot of unknowns too, just with transfers and new players in the league. So I think that's the case for everybody across the country.
Well, and that seems to be the thing, like you said, everyone's trying to figure out is teams are much more year to year now. It's not as much you're so familiar with the program throughout the years, and like you guys just talked about with the transfers just for your own program, that's something that has become much bigger, and it will be something fun to watch in the ASUN just this season. So last year, unable to qualify for the ASUN tournament. Obviously, that is a goal, but what other goals does this group have for the 24-25 season?
Well, ultimately, coming in as the new coach of this program, I want us to finish. I want to be a top 3 finisher in the ASUN regularly, and I want to contend for postseason play all the time. I don't ever want to not play in the conference tournament again, and so for us to make those things happen regularly, it's a process. We knew it wasn't going to happen overnight, but we're really excited about just making a big jump forward in year 2. I think for us, I talk about offensive efficiency a lot. I thought we started taking better shots at the end of last season. We just, quite frankly, didn't put the ball in the basket enough. We want to try to score 75 points a game, so that's something that we're always striving for on the offensive end, but also creating that out of our defense. And so with a deeper bench and more numbers and more athleticism this year, we'll be able to score from our defense as well and just apply more pressure throughout the game.
And Kayla, is that something, that sting of not making the playoffs last year and not having the season you guys might have wanted to have, and now this year trying to right that, is that something that's in your head as far as, like, we talk about the coaches poll and everything, 9th in the coaches poll, so towards the bottom? I know a lot of coaches don't want to worry about the polls, but is there the back of the mind of, we might be an underdog, but we're going to come out and show them this year?
Yeah, of course, especially like being this my senior year. I would definitely like to make it to the postseason tournament, and I believe that we will.
And Grace, joining this team, is that something you feel this team's capable of, is going deep and, like she said, being a top 3 team in the ASUN?
Always. I mean, it's fine if people sleep on us. That's okay. We expect that, and we love an underdog story. So I think the standard this year has been raised, and we've been preached at in the weight room, at practice. In order to accomplish our goals that we have set out to do, we have to be in shape. We have to take every little detail seriously in order to accomplish what we set out.
And Coach, these 2 players are the players here on Media Day, and so I'm just going to let you talk about these 2, talk about what they bring to the team and how important they are to this season.
Well, these 2 were voted captains by their teammates. I chose them to come to Media Day before that happened, but I had a pretty good idea of where that was headed. So, for us, Rue, the first day I met Rue, she was sweet to tell me, Coach, nobody around here really calls me Kayla. So we call her Rue, but she's the most veteran player in our program, the OG Osprey, coming back as our leading scorer from last year. There's a lot of responsibility on her shoulders just in terms of scoring the ball and handling the ball. We often matched her up on the other team's best player, and so we'll see that again this year. I think she's really embraced the challenge. So we have pushed Rue, I think, outside of her comfort zone, right? Yes, because she's just really talented. I think she's one of the best guards in the ASUN. And just super happy that we acquired Grace Hunter this year. She's really elevated our level of play in all the ways that you can think of, starting with strength and conditioning. I think in the summer, building toughness is a big part about starting your team's foundation for that season. And everybody on our team would say that they were pushed by Grace. She's, just running circles around people. So she plays harder than any kid I think I have ever coached.
Well, super excited to watch you guys this year. Best of luck, and have a great rest of the trip to Charlotte, and excited for the season.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
No problem. Here at the ASUN basketball tip-off presented by Influxor, the Ospreys getting started while the men's team on the other side of the break. We'll be right back from Charlotte, North Carolina.